world-class interpretation by scholars such as myself and world-class interpreter Herbert Isaac III, along with some of our graduate students here at Oxford, because we're better than you. Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, written in 1590, London, England. This play is about love overcoming all and bringing peace through tragedy. Herbert, do you have anything to add to that?
Oh, sorry I'm late, kids. Crazy night. Woke up kind of strapped to a park bench. One of the facts about Shakespeare was his wife. Her name was Anne Hathaway. Personally, I didn't like her in Devil Wears Prada, but just me. His true contribution to theatre as a whole is, spectacular, as I will say.
Juliet was the most dynamic character within the entire play, far more dynamic than Romeo. She symbolizes women empowerment and overcoming family values that may be inflicted upon us from an older generation. But she also symbolizes the folly of youth and how these two concepts intertwine and can cause massive devastation, as we see with her death.
O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and all no longer be a Capulet. 'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection that he deserves without that title. Oh, 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 oh. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
This scene is one of the most famous scenes in Romeo and Juliet. It is because this is still relevant in today's society. Juliet is coming into deeper thinking about her relationship and feelings for Romeo, and in this soliloquy, she realizes that a name or a title does not define who you are inside. So, my title as Harvard professor does not define me as a good or bad person, and does not affect the way others treat or love me, although it does help.
An original saying that I came up with, you can quote me if you like, so be it. I've always said that bread, but any other name, in this case is just as stale, but sometimes it's fluffy and kind of tends me on a little bit.
If thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or, if thou think'st I'm too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse, and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. But, in truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my behaviour light. But, trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those who have more cloying to be strange.
We find that Juliet is becoming more self-aware. She is becoming more of her own person, and less of a replication of what her parents want her to be. A large part of that is what Romeo envisions her with her. They are becoming one. Finally, she is very fake.
This quote shows that Juliet is self-aware of her actions, but that they are heavily impressionable, and are influenced by her surroundings. Romeo is the direct cause of Juliet's dynamic character arc, and through his unreasonable actions, causes her death.
In this soliloquy, Juliet is becoming more self-aware of her actions, and in doing so, we see just how influential Romeo's appearance has an effect on her life and actions. Obviously, by the end of the play, it is so much so that she is willing to die for Romeo. But at this moment, we see that in her character arc, she has gone from being a very conserved person who listens to their parents and doesn't do anything wrong to a person who's willing to do almost anything to gain Romeo's love. And this is just another point in soliloquy displaying her character arc, making her the most dynamic character in the play, symbolizing what women will do for love and how it is one of the most powerful forces on earth.
What devil art thou, that dost torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou I, and that bare vowel I, shall poison more than the deadly, death-darting eye of cockatrice.
Juliet has put her self-worth into her relationship with Romeo. This is especially dangerous, as we see, and when Romeo kills himself, Juliet kills herself too. This shows us that self-worth should not be based on outside influence. This shows Juliet's extreme change from the beginning of the play.
So, students, when my opinion mattered before the incident with Mr. McGregor, this was one of my personal favorites. This quote shows the love for Romeo. It is expressive of the loyalties provided towards Romeo. It also has the same recognition that family is maybe not as important as we might think. It shows that she was very, very, very young, as well as extraordinarily dramatic. It shows all of these things in this amazing book written by Shakespeare. This quote shows the similarities between Juliet and baked bread.
What's here? A cup closed in my true love's hand. Poison! Oh, oh, I see hath been his timeless end. Oh, chill, drunk all, and left no friendly drop to help me after. I will kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them, to make me die with a restorative.
This soliloquy is the completion of Juliet's character arc, and also the end of the play. She sees Romeo there, dying after taking the poison, and she decides that she would rather die with Romeo in love than live in a world without him, and through that, without love, which also shows that she doesn't feel the same depth of love with her family as she does with Romeo. This is obvious throughout the play and is shown through this soliloquy. This is also another reason that she is the most dynamic character. In the beginning of the play, Juliet would never have died for another person. Even for her family, she did not feel the same depth of emotion. But her love for Romeo gladly brought her to the depths of fatality. Throughout the play, it foreshadows their death as they constantly think about suicide and other depressing thoughts. It shows that the force of their love attracts equally forceful other emotions, positive or negative. Also, their youth and immaturity, paired with these deep emotions, lead to brash and impulsive decisions, such as suicide. If Romeo had waited only a second more, or if they had never gone through with this horrendously bad plan, then neither of them would have died. But then the play would not have had the same impact.
This quote clearly shows how Juliet's love for Romeo is far greater than her own love for her own parents. She finds Romeo dead because he couldn't live without her. This is a further affirmation of their love, and spurs her actions, rather than deters her from them. Juliet's adolescent immaturity exacerbates the deep emotions she experiences, and drives her to take her own life. This is an extreme change from the beginning of the play.
She didn't care about her parents at the end. She cared about what she wanted.
Madam, I'm here. What is your will?
This quote is taken from the beginning of the play, before Juliet is so deeply affected by her relationship with Romeo. We see that Juliet obeys her parents and respects them, and so much so that throughout the play, we are so shocked by her transformation and character arc. Halfway through the play, when she denies her parents' wishes by not marrying Paris or refusing to, we see that their outburst and rage and surprise is an indicator of how much against Juliet's nature her words were. They expected her to completely submit to their will. Juliet standing up to them not only shows her character arc, but symbolizes empowerment when suppressed.
For example, when Juliet says, "Madam, I am here, what is your will?" in Act 1, Scene 4, lines 6 through 7. This quote exemplifies how Juliet has no true control over her life. When she says, "What is your will?" this proves that even though she is obedient of her parents don't give her a voice that she deserves. And the only person that listens to her is Romeo, which is one of the main reasons why she falls in love so fast.